Hey guys, so I'm finally gonna do my Booktube prize wrap up. So this is probably gonna be short because two of the books I read a long time ago and I didn't do like reviews when I read them. And then the other four I read like basically in a 4-day period, not literally because I did start a couple of them prior to that, but I did the bulk of my reading over the weekend before the books were due to be ranked because I am good at things. I really do wonder if Robert is gonna let me continue doing this. So anyways, I'll start. There was definitely like a bottom two and a top four to start off with. So I'm just gonna do them in order of, I think, ranking. I don't actually 100% remember how I ranked them. Just because again, I already, don't 100% remember. So my bottom two books were The Black Church by Henry Louis Gates Jr. and A World on the Wing by Scott Whitensall. So thankfully I was able to listen to a good portion of this on audio. This one I could not get on audio. I skimmed to hate read a majority of this book because okay, I put this one in last place though over this one. I'm pretty sure I put this one in 6th place. Mostly I think because I was more disappointed in this book than I was in this book. I was actually really excited to read both of these books because, this is about the Black Church and like its impact on, Black society, African American culture in general in the United States. And then this is about migratory birds that I don't know anything about. So like both sound super interesting. So I think the problem that I have with this book the most is that it's the time period and just like the amount of content that he was trying to put in such a small book, I just think was unrealistic. So I do think that it's because it's more like broadly just about how, African Americans like relate to church and how like important it is to their daily lives and like why. But he's covering from slavery times to present day and like literally every religion. And so it's just a lot. It's a lot. And then towards the end, I was a little bit frustrated because he's talking. I'm actually like super pumped. Because there's a recommended reading in the back and I'm probably going to find a lot of good books in there. I do think like the book is well written and I would definitely read other things that this author has written before. I mean, he's written so many books and I'm down for them. I just feel like this was too much and too little of a space. And then I don't know if it's the epilogue or if it's the last chapter, but like he starts talking about, okay, it's in the last, I just get emotional, sorry. So like talking about, literally all of there's always horrendous things. Let's all be honest. There's always really terrible things happening to Black folk in this country, but like specifically, with George Floyd and like Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and all of these people that have been like so, what's the word? Like there's just been a lot of really high profile killings of Black people by police officers. And so he's talking a lot about that. And it's just like, I understand that church leaders are probably speaking at their funerals, but it just didn't seem to like fit into the rest of the book. Like it just felt like a completely separate subject. And like, it to me felt like he just really wanted to talk about that. And so he decided to add it to the book. I'm not sure when he started writing this book, but it was theoretically published last year, which was 2021. So I don't know if this came out or like if he started writing it before this happened and then like maybe he was really inspired. Sorry, my cat's playing. That's why that camera jiggled. If he was like inspired to add something about that. I don't know. I don't know because obviously I don't know this man. But it just felt out of place and I was overall I was disappointed. I do want to go back because I didn't, since I listened to a lot of this on audio, I didn't like go back to look at the photographs, which I really would like to do. And this is probably something that I am still going to keep on my shelves because I think that it's probably really good like to have, especially because of all those references in the back and there's a lot of quotes and a lot of like things. Super weird. My phone stopped recording for no reason because my battery is fine and I have storage. So anyways, yeah, I just disappointed. I think I ended up giving this like 2.5 stars, somewhere in there. I just really was hoping for more. And same situation with this book. I think I ranked this one higher only because, like, who knows about migratory birds? Not that many people. So like I feel like the subject is more niche. And so I thought that maybe it would be I don't know. It just seemed, there's like more facts, I guess, in this book. But let me tell you, I've got a lot of problems with that writing style. Okay. So while the content was interesting, while I'm sure Scott is great, I just don't want to read another book that this person has written. It just was so boring. It was so boring. And the writing was just so many adjectives again, which just, you know, drives me crazy. Gloriously comfortable mattress, glacier wrapped bulk, rosy monolith, bright twilight, trotted warily, sniffing nervously, trudged, sinuous, luxurious. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's just so many adjectives and constantly comparing birds to humans. So like, if this were a human, you'd have to like do this. And it's like, okay, but you're talking about birds. What does that have to do with humans? Like, we're different species. Of course we have different strengths and weaknesses. Like, I don't care that a human couldn't, like, or whatever. I feel like the point kind of was that, like, maybe since birds can do it, we can figure out how to, like, you know, do things to humans, like metabolism. I don't know. I don't care. I would have preferred. And also the other problem is that he mentioned so many different birds, and then I'm like, okay, I Googled the first few, but then I'm not going to keep stopping reading this book to Google what these birds look like. I just do not care enough. I don't care enough. I would have preferred like an 80-page book that has a cute picture of the bird, like a hand-drawn bird, like the World of Wonders thing that I also didn't like very much. And then on the other side, you know, some information about the bird. That would have been more, it would have given me the information about these birds better than this thing. So I think I actually rated this one lower. I think the reason that I ranked The Black Church lower is just because I was more disappointed in it. Because this one, I didn't really have that many expectations. You know how sometimes it hurts more to be disappointed by a book. Ugh. So anyways, those two, and I'm probably going to get rid of the Migratory Birds book also, just FYI. So then I had 4 stellar books. They were so good. So I gave the other 4 books 4.5 or 5 stars. I don't remember. I think I rated Nuclear Folly in 5th place or 4th place. And it was just like really, it was really hard. So this was so interesting. This was so interesting. And again, I want every book that Serhi has written, because hot ding dong, wowzas. So much information. There's none of this superfluous language, no extra adjectives, no he stared quizzingly, whatever. Okay. No extra bullshit, just telling us basically exactly what happened, and it was fantastic. The only problem obviously is that you have to like assume that the people from whom like his sources are being truthful, because obviously he's telling, you know, US and Russian sides kind of simultaneously as they're going. This cat is driving me crazy. Surely. And they're talking about like top government things, so you have to assume that those are all facts, and I'm just going to assume that they are all facts and that people are being truthful. But yeah, just super good. This book was stellar. I think I gave this book 5 stars. I don't know. It was so good. It also is really upsetting to read right now, clearly. This book came out before, I mean, obviously there's always been like ongoing Ukrainian-Russian problems, but I feel like right now, this is like, you know, it's really upsetting to read. So anyways, I gave that one, or I put that one in 4th place, I think. And then the one that I put in 3rd place. Why am I not turning my ring light on? That's the reason I have it, right? Hey, I just wanted to refilm me talking about Facing the Mountain by Daniel James Brown. All day long I've been a mess. So let me, I think that's better. I already forgot what I said the first time that I was talking about this, but I am going to talk about it again. Also, I'm really annoyed because in moving it around and stuff, I got a little bend in the cover. Oh my gosh. This was absolutely incredible. At this point, I don't actually even want, because I've tried talking about this book so many times, and so I'm kind of over it, and I don't even really, I'm not going to say that much about it. I will say that it was extremely emotionally impactful. And so that I feel like when I was ranking these books, I was having a little bit of a trouble deciding between like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. And the reason that I placed this above Nuclear Folly was just because Nuclear Folly was such a like just like fact. There wasn't as much emotional resonance. And I started crying like basically on page 2 while I was reading this book. It goes through, you know, the life of Japanese American men, starting with, I'm pretty sure it starts with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Yeah, the first chapter is called Shock. So, oh my gosh. So it starts with that, and then, you know, it goes through their time leading up to them participating, like actually being able to participate in the war and participating in the war. I will say the war pieces, I didn't find as interesting is not the right word, but it's just like kind of confusing for me because I don't know anything about the military. So it's like regiment and battalions and infantry and all of this like words that I just like, doesn't make any sense to me. So when they're talking about how, you know, they're like, it was very, very complicated because for me, I just didn't understand that much. But it is just incredible from start to finish. Obviously, again, there's a lot of stuff that is in this book that is kind of, it is depressing. And sorry, I'm just like thinking about a specific thing that, but yeah, so my favorite part about this book was the fact that he focuses on, I'm pretty sure it's for young men. At this point, I don't 100% remember, but there's like different Japanese American men and like their different kind of trajectories and like points of view with regards to the war. And so I really, really liked that he showed how multifaceted the Japanese American experience was during this period of time, and how like the young men from Hawaii just had a completely different experience from the young men that were in like on the mainland in the United States. And like the friction between those two groups of men, like that to me was so interesting because it's nothing that I'd ever heard of, because I guess anytime that I read about or have watched about or have learned about, I've just been learning about the internment camps only, not about Japanese American men in the army or military or whatever. And so I've never gotten to that point. Like I had no idea about anything about the young men that were in Hawaii and like what they went through. So that was like just so enlightening and so mind-blowing. Sorry, my allergies. I will say the only thing that graded me, and like if I had to like mince, I'd probably give this a 4.75 instead of a 5-star, is that he does a lot of the like foreshadowing. So because he's telling the story chronologically and he's bouncing back between the different experiences of different people and like, you know, just telling different stories, but again, chronologically, you have to leave one person and then go tell someone else's bit during that time period and like back and forth. But he knows the whole story of the person that he's talking about. And so he does the thing where he says, like, little did he know, I've actually, of course I ran out of battery space. Anyway, so I did, I feel like I was talking about how, you know, he would, try to like, I don't know what the right word is, but, you know, leave a cliffhanger, like what things do at the end of TV shows now, when I was watching TV and it was Buffy and Charmed, there would be a monster of the week and everything would be wrapped up at the end. And I appreciated that very much. Now everything has to be left on a cliffhanger because like you have to keep the audience engaged. And it really actually pisses me off because if you're a good enough storyteller, you don't need to use things like that. But anyway, so he, and again, I don't actually know, I don't remember what is happening there, you know. In Italy, there's an Italian road, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of like this little section before it switches to someone else's like portion, he says, and then everything went horribly wrong. And it's just like, you don't need to say that. I mean, everything you're going to tell us, you're going to show us by telling us like what happened. I don't need to be forewarned or foreshadowed or whatever. Like, I just need the facts. I need you to tell me what's happening. And it's not he does it in this book, but it's not as infuriating as in other books that I've read where the same thing happens. Like Ready Player One, at the end of every chapter, basically, it's like that, and it just drives me crazy. So anyways, sorry, total tangent, but yeah, so that was like my only pet peeve, and I know that that's probably like a me problem in general, but again, so much information, so just like emotionally powerful and wonderfully told, and I'm really, really glad that I got assigned that book. So anyways, back to Old Past Me. Then in second place, I'm pretty sure I ranked Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I also cried so much during this book, and like it made me miss my mom so much too. I feel like and again, I don't know. I was talking to Jake about different things that were happening in this book, and it's really hard. My mother is alive. Michelle's mom died of cancer, so there's obviously like plenty of differences. But I was talking to Jake while I was reading this book because it was just like affecting me so much, and he was talking about how like I feel like being the daughter of an immigrant does like there's like something that like is put upon you kind of by your immigrant parents. Obviously not in a negative way. It's just, I don't know. I feel like you have like a different way of like relating to things and to people and like culture. So what is wrong with me? Sorry, I'm surprised I didn't cry more when talking about Facing the Mountain. Anyway, so I don't know. I feel I just really appreciated this book. I appreciated how like open she was and how much she shared, and I really, really liked it. And I'm a sucker for a memoir. And I'll be honest, I do feel bad because I put the memoir and the essay in the top 2 places. And then the 2 like history books next, and then nature, and I don't know. See, I don't even know what to classify the Black Church as like genre wise, but anyways, I feel like my preference will always be towards memoirs and nonfiction, so I'm not 100% surprised that happened. But anyways, yeah, really, really liked this. I'm kind of disappointed because I think that she was on Livewire semi recently and I missed it, obviously because I just read the book in April, and I think she was on there much earlier than that. But anyways, super good. And I was like listening to Japanese Breakfast, and I was like, I need to eat all the Korean food because she described the food so well while she was, you know, I mean, the book is also like a love letter to Korean food, kind of. I mean, you know, kind of. And yeah, so I like reading all of that. I was just like, I need Korean food right now. I was getting so jealous while reading that book. Oh, so good. And then in first place, I'm pretty sure I put this one in first place, A Swim in a Pond in the Rain by George Saunders. First of all, I'm a George Saunders fan, girl, so sorry. I forget whose review I watched from the first round. Who was that? But they were talking, Remembered Reads. Can't remember her name. Whatever. She read this one, and I feel like she did not like it. She didn't rank it as highly. I should have watched that video again before I filmed this. But anyways, I loved it. First of all, I love Russian literature, and second of all, I love George Saunders. So it's just, you know, him dissecting a bunch of short stories by Russian authors, and then, you know, kind of going over it with you, and it's super fun. The first one is really, really cute because he does like a page, and then he does one page and then he kind of like breaks it down, and then the next page and then breaks it down, and the next page and breaks it down. But then for the subsequent stories, it's the whole story and then his like essay meditation, or, you know, I guess kind of discussing the things and the themes and like why it's important. And then he has like a little, you know, closure at the end. So anyways, I don't really know what else to say about this book, other than I really, really, really liked it. And I will pretty much read anything that George Saunders writes. So whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to see. I feel like there's, yeah, no, I don't even, no, it's all good. Yeah, he does like these things too. I'm trying to find one where he's like, whatever, I'm done. Obviously, I've expended all my emotion and energy. So those are the books, and my top 3, I think, made it into the next round, the semi-finals. And I'm reading the nonfiction again for this round, which I'm kind of surprised and excited by. I got all my books already. Crying in H Mart is one of them. Oh, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble. I shouldn't get in trouble because I'm reviewing the ones that I just did, comparing them amongst themselves, okay? Right? We'll see. Okay. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.